Guys, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, wanted to talk a little bit about the games for the Sega Master System that I had as a kid. A few of the guys in the group that I'm in, the WhatsApp group, were talking about this the other day, and I thought, you know what, it'd be a great idea for a video and hopefully to get you guys involved as well. So do let me know in the comments below, or if you wanted to do a VR to this video, that'd be absolutely awesome. Yeah, I've been collecting for the Master System. As you can see, I've got tons of games, and I've been collecting since the age of 11 when I got addicted to this system. By then, a lot of my mates had already moved on to the Mega Drive. Quite a few other mates had like Game Gears and stuff. I never had any of that, so I was playing the Master System for a lot of years and absolutely loved it. So I had, as my built-in game, I had the Snail Maze game, which I think was on one of the earlier systems. I didn't have any of the other built-in games that came with it, like Alex Kidd. I only played Alex Kidd when I was probably in my early 20s, would you believe? So I got Alex Kidd with a Master System 2 in a bundle that I picked up in Manchester when I moved up north. Anyway, so I'm going to run through the games that I had as a kid. There's about 10-ish, 11-ish that I had, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what they mean to me and from what I can remember of them. It was that long ago. So here goes. Right, so in no particular order, we have got Indiana Jones, and I think it's The Last Crusade, isn't it? Yeah. There's actually two versions of this game, two variants. The front cover looks slightly different on the other one, but this is the one I had as a kid. This isn't the exact copy, so I picked this one up in the last sort of 3 or 4 years, I think. It's a really fun game. I remember we picked this one for the Master System Challenge, and a lot of people really didn't get on with it. I've played it back as part of the Master System Challenge, and it really is quite tough. Doesn't play quite as well as I remember as a kid, but I do have a lot of nostalgia and a lot of memories of, I think it's the second stage where you're on I think it's on top of the train, where you're jumping over rhino horns and giraffes' heads that are popping up through the roof of the train. So yeah, a lot of fun, or certainly I remember it that way anyway. But yeah, quite a tough game actually. I've still never actually finished it. So this was one of the first ones that I had, one I owned as a kid. I'll just pop that there. Right, so next one. There you go. I got a little bit of glare filming at night. So this one's California Games. Again, another one that we played as part of the Master System Challenge. I think this was actually the second challenge that we did. And I think to this day, I think it's one of only 2 challenges that I won. So we picked Hacky Sack, or Footbag as it is on the NES. Anyway, so I had California Games as a kid. I was never actually that good at Hacky Sack or Footbag as it is. But I did play a lot of the skateboard halfpipe, and I got really good at the BMX one as well. And I think one of the other events was the roller skating, where you've got to speed up by hitting left and right on the D-pad really quick, and you've got to jump over various cracks in the pavement or banana skins or whatever. So yeah, a lot of fun, lots of different events on this one, and a lot of nostalgia for it as well. So this one is Hang On. I actually, as a kid, had the card version. So I do still have a card version. It's just on the very top shelf up there, so I'm not going to get that. It was a pack-in game with my original console, which is just up there. But this is the cartridge version. Now, I did pick this up in that bundle in Manchester and this was like the first time I'd ever seen a cartridge version. It's the very early days of the SMS Power forum and stuff like that. So I was still learning about all of the games in, gosh, must have been about 2002, 2003 maybe, when I picked up a fairly sizable bundle, and this was in there. So I got chance to play this one again and whatnot. So yeah, a lot of fun. I remember again this being on the Master System Challenge, and I remember Pedder, that's Pedder Johnson. He did like a 2.5 hour marathon of this game, not making any mistakes, just absolutely went for it, and I think he went on to win the challenge with a beast of a score. So yeah, a lot of fun, this one. If you've not played it, there's something, it's very, very simple, but there's something really addictive about quite a simple game, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. One that you pick up and you just can't seem to put down. So yeah, hang on. Definitely give this one a try if you've never played it before. It's a cracker. Okay, so we've got Vigilante. Again, I have picked a lot of these for the Master System Challenge when we did them. But as a kid, I think this was like the second game that I ever completed. And it was just one of those games that I had. When I played it back again as an adult, I actually really struggled. But I remember completing this many, many times over as a kid. And I remember, I think trying to remember, there's a little story. I'll try and remember it as best I can. I remember putting this on and leaving it in demo mode, just leaving the console running basically, and sneaking out. I remember my mum said that she had come to the door in the afternoon to check on me, heard this running, so didn't come in because she knew I was busy, although I think I'd snuck to the park to play football. So yeah, bit of a daft story, I know. Yeah, not everybody gets on with this one. Again, it is a bit tricky to control, and I don't think I've completed it since since I was a kid. But a lot of fond memories for this, and the box art always sort of gets me. This guy looks like he's enjoying getting smacked in the face. Okay, so Double Dragon. This was the very first game I ever completed on any console. This game is what made me ask for the Sega Master System for my 11th birthday in 1991. And the system had already been out 3 or 4 years in Europe, of course. I was a bit late to the party, but yeah, better late than never, I guess. And I was round another lad's house. I think it was somebody that my mum knew. My mum knew his mum, so I got invited to. I think it was his 11th birthday. He was a few months older than I was. And I'd seen, this was like the first ever game that I saw. I was lucky, there were kids everywhere. I got one really quick go, and it was like, wow. And I said, oh mum, can I, Toby's got this Master System for his birthday, could I get one? And then I remember spotting a Master System with this and a few other games. I've still got it up at the up at the top of the shelf there. And yeah, it was at the bottom of our road. There was a second-hand shop, and yeah, just she must have put a deposit down to buy the whole bundle of whatever stuff for me for my birthday, because I remember it going missing from the shop window about a week before my birthday. But yeah, first ever game that I completed, and I've completed it many, many times over. Who owned this one and didn't know about the cheat at the beginning of the 4th level with the roundhouse kicks to get infinite lives? I think everybody knows that one, don't they? So we got Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, and I didn't know anything about an arcade version or a Mega Drive version or anything until I was an adult. I played this one an absolute ton because I loved the music. Who wasn't a an MJ fan back in the day? He was an absolute icon, you know. So I really enjoyed the game. I played the first few levels over and over and over. I never got much further than that, and it was only again Master System Challenge where I saw my buddy Ian complete this, and I got to see the final boss. But you know, I believe it's, or I now know that the final boss is really difficult to beat. But Ian managed it. Hats off to him. And yeah, just a really fun, colourful, action-packed game. So we've got Sonic the Hedgehog here. I again in the console at the top of the shelf. I'll show you guys in a minute. I'll have to tilt the camera or something. But I've got my original cartridge for Sonic. I remember I had to get rid of all of the, I didn't have to, but I chose as a kid daft to get rid of all of the cases and just keep the cartridges so I could fit more in the box, because we had to take the Master System and the box with me when we were having work done where we lived. And whatnot, DIY stuff done. So I took the Master System with me and got rid of all the boxes. I picked up this copy from a shop in Morecambe, Lee's Games, as you can see there. If you're ever passing Morecambe, then you know, absolutely go and visit the shop. The owner is an absolute legend, Andy, really nice bloke. I remember my original copy of Sonic was the first ever game I pre-ordered. My mum, I think she pre-ordered it from Woolworths, and I got it for, I think it must have been my 12th birthday, maybe, or it might have been Christmas. Might have been the Christmas of '91, actually. I'm not so sure. Memories are a bit hazy from all those years ago. But I remember only getting to stage, or is it, yeah, level 6, stage 1 or stage 2, but around abouts like the last sort of level on 6, with all the electricity and stuff, and just not being able to do it at all. And I remember my mum, she ran a pub at the time. She came upstairs. I paused it and said, "Look, I'm on the last little bit. Will you watch me?" And she came up, and I just then lost. Like I had about, I can't remember, about 7 or 8 lives, and I just lost them all in quick succession. And yeah, I was absolutely gutted. But again, we did this as the Master System Challenge a few years ago, a couple of years ago, and I remember being absolutely ecstatic that I managed to complete it. And that week, I managed to complete this one as an adult, probably 4 or 5 times, beating my score each time, with it being a high score challenge, of course. So yeah, a lot of fond memories, and probably one of my absolute favourites on the system. Okay, so Outrun. I think everybody knows Outrun, don't they? It's such an iconic franchise, and it was ported to, you know, a lot of different systems, from the Spectrum right up to the Mega Drive, and we've even got versions as late as the PS2 and the original Xbox. This was the one that I knew and played. I absolutely loved this game. Another one that hadn't ever completed as a kid. I'd kind of always got to the last little bit and just ran out of time, but I did manage to finish it as an adult a couple of years ago. I think I've told the story on the channel before, but I once went to into town to swap some games, or trade. I can't remember why I was taking my games into town. Might have been to meet a mate to swap them. But I walked into a shop on the way into town, put a couple of my games on the counter as I was then looking around the shop, and then just walked out. And it was months later, I just happened to walk back into that shop, and the guy said, "Oh, I remember you popping in with some games. And we've kept them for you. Let me go and get them." And I was like, "Oh my God, you know, thank you so much." So what an absolute legend, and I got it back again. It's not the copy that I had as a child, but I do have the original cartridge tucked in the console box, and yeah, just an amazing game. And personally, probably with rose tinted glasses, but this is my absolute favourite version of Outrun. So yeah, it's just a brilliant game on the Master System, in my opinion. Okay, Rocky. So another one that I never finished as a kid, but played it over and over and over. Never had a rapid fire unit, didn't even know that they were a thing again till I started collecting many years later. But I had a lot of nostalgia for the films. I think I watched the first one. I think I probably watched the first one fairly early on, like most kids in the early 90s. I was watching stuff like Rocky and stuff like that, and really enjoyed playing this one. I had my arse handed to me on many occasion by Clubber Lang, and certainly by Ivan Drago. But I could always sort of beat Apollo, uh, uh, without too much sort of difficulty or whatever. It's quite difficult to find these earlier games in really good nick. This isn't in such bad nick. It's actually not too bad at all. But yeah, finding a copy in mint conditions, really tough going. But a really great game. I remember picking this one for the Master System challenge. It was one of the earlier challenges, and my buddy Ben did an absolutely cracking video where he started doing all of the training around his flat himself. I think it might have been when we were still in lockdown, so he must have just been bored or something. Okay, so last two. Right, so R-Type. Another one I've still never completed to this day. It is a tricky game, but I really like the front cover. It reminds me of playing the game and playing the first level over and over, because again, it wasn't until I was an adult that I actually beat the first boss. Yeah, I just really struggled with this one, but I always really enjoyed the music, and it just played so well. To be fair, this has absolutely no right to run as well as it does on the Master System. I think it's pretty incredible, the job that the developers did porting it to the system, and it's just a stone cold classic. Such a great game, and probably uh, it it probably is the best shmup on the system, I would say. Again, in my opinion, a really cracking game, and I think probably doesn't need too much of an introduction. And then the very last game. So, Psychic World. Again, talked about it quite a lot on the channel before. Absolutely love the front cover. I'm just showing it to you slightly on the angle, just so that you don't get too much glare off the light. But it's a brilliant game. Again, it's another one I haven't ever finished. I've got to stage four. Stage four, like the first three stages are quite short. Stage 4 and 5 are very long and extremely difficult. The game really spikes in difficulty from stage 4. So I saw Michael, that's Pooty Echidna, finish this one for the Master System challenge, and that was the first time I'd seen it finished on his YouTube channel. It's a brilliant game, and it's my absolute favourite on the system as well. Such a fantastic game. It's a real shame that it's got quite expensive to buy these days, unfortunately. But if you ever manage to spot a copy for cheap enough or emulate it, then I definitely recommend that you do. And guys, that's basically it. I think I already mentioned the built-in game that I had was Snail Maze that I played a fair bit. So that kind of, with the built-in game, kind of gets me to, I think, 12 altogether. I will show you guys. I'll just tilt the camera up slightly so you can just see. Where are we going? There. So that is my original Master System that I got for my 11th birthday. There we go. Oh. And yeah, inside there, I think I've still got Sonic, Outrun, my original Psychic World, and probably 2 or 3 others as well. So that's it, guys. 12 games, I guess, with the built-in one that I had as a kid on the Master System. I was very, very lucky and fortunate to have that many. I did play the Master System probably right up until I went on to university, to be honest. And it was only my brother who then got the Super Nintendo, and probably about 98, when I'd already left home, to be honest, when he got the N64. So I was playing that right up until 99, when I then bought myself a PS1. But that is a story for another video. Guys, I really appreciate you watching. Thank you ever so much. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing as well. Most of my content is Master System related. And if you want to do a video response, a VR to this video, just tag me in. I will be sure to watch your video. And genuinely, I'm really interested to see, what games everybody had for the Master System when they were kids. So thank you ever so much. All the best.